Greetings, Mr. Maltsev. Recently, you have got back from the Venice expedition, where enormous work was done. Several movies and books was shot and written. Plus, you visited Sicily, where you have met with some masters. Of course, it's impossible to talk about it all with a lack of time, but I would like to talk about one thing. That is a restoration of Venetian stiletto work. When a person is into any activity, something has to precede it. Something has to push him to do it. So I would like to know, what was your first acquaintance with stiletto? It was long ago, more than 20 years ago. I want you to understand one simple thing. I've been practicing Venetian techniques for more than 20 years. If I didn't know it, I wouldn't be able to restore no European noble's finest system, дворянская сечь. No one understands some other thing related to it. There is a practice Venetian system for more than 20 years. And our school is Venetian. It doesn't have a stiletto alone, it's also a school of an applied science. Applied science itself is Venetian. So a 20 years period of time preceded it, including criminal, law field, work with the criminal tradition, European culture, and first with the Sicilian culture, because Sicily was an island state, as Venice. Work with the restoration of European martial system, such as German, French, Spanish. I have an interest in island states, so mostly I focus it on specific countries. But doesn't mean that I'm not interested in central part of Italy, Germany. To tell you the truth, the nature of stiletto formed long ago. It's kind of one of the first weapons in the world that exists in the form of the knife. Because, as you know, first knives was made from the bones, and if you will look at archaeological dig, you will see that they ain't sharp. They're mostly for stabbing, and this type is a crown of creation. A real Venetian stiletto of the 17th century. See how it looks. It's a real museum piece of the 17th century. It must be put in museum, but as you can see, it's here. It's a present for my students, made in Venice. Oleg Viktorovich, you already had some knowledge when you started to restore Venetian system, but when you do something, you always find and figure out something new for yourself that you did not know before. So, were there any things that was new for you during restoration of the system? Yes, firstly I was fortunate to restore the whole system working with the pier and marine system. If you'll see at Venetian tractate, he will understand that they all are by land. But working with a Venetian spada, half sword, half rapier, working with a Norman dagger, stiletto, since stiletto is an all-can-do weapon, it can be marine and land. The origin of stiletto is Venice and in Venice, and it's spread all over the world from this country. So speaking about the new things I got during restoration, if we have restored the whole system of Venetian marine fencing by now, and we are writing a tractate, restoring it by special techniques. So, knowing it, we can prove that Venetian system lies on the base of all martial arts. Why do some masters, not only promoters, say that there is a Sicilian and Venetian stiletto if it was born in Venice? Why is that, and is there any difference between it? Yes, that's true. There is no difference. The thing is that Venetian stiletto is a bit smaller because it can be hidden in baston and cane. Here is a Venetian stiletto in Palermitan baston. Here you are. You can see that it's smaller. We can even check. See, as I said. So there is no difference. It looks like this. Sicilian stiletto has no bow, and it's hidden and stick. It's a Palermitan stiletto of Bruno Givarzi school. And it has a stiletto on a fan out as well. You can remove this thing and you will see it yourself. Here are. So we can work in a different way. We can work with it as if it was a spear or a sword, or we can open it and get both and work simultaneously with two things in your hands. This way, this way, this way, or this way, and we can change hands, of course. It's not very comfortable when you are sitting in a chair, but we can do it anyways. Can you tell me how is the restoration itself done? Do you have any principles in putting together all techniques that will form some kind of logical model? Well, I think that if you waste a bit of your time, you will find a special page attached to my account in the internet where I speak in details what can be researched. That is, we can talk to masters, we can analyze documents, use some instruments, we can study true history. But men that base their research on an academic history, they will fail. For example, there are some persons that write books about Italy, Sicily, and even though some scholars that live there can't answer all the questions. But these guys have answers on all the questions based on academic history. It means that people don't know any bit of the research topic. As for stiletto itself and sword, I'll say that it's not that easy to restore. We have a special system that allows us to work with the so-called X-files. And I can say that using this system we can restore many things, and now we're working on restoration of sword and stiletto. Speaking about stiletto restoration, it had two directions. The first one is Palermitan one. I have a friend in Palermo, and he's a master in working with the Palermitan stiletto that puts in cane. It has 21 blocks, and each one is like a riddle that you should read. If you can read it, you can find out what lies inside the block. If not, the block will remain closed for you. That's the first thing. The second one, I have another friend that lives also in Palermo, and it has a counter school to the first guy. Some time ago, it was a united school in Palermo. Anyways, it's kind of first block, which is called playing with the blade. We have a project with a similar name. The main gain of it is working bare-handed against the knife and stiletto. You see, you can not only put a stiletto in a Palermitan boston, but also a knife that ain't folded in Palermo, despite the whole Sicily and Venice. It says that it belongs to nobility, to ruling class. So I had these two persons, another two masters in Venice, that help in restoration. We have exchanged our knowledge while I was in an expedition trip. We didn't talk so much about it because they asked me not to do it. I'll explain why. The thing is that in Venice and Italy, it's prohibited by law to produce such things, not to speak of carrying it. So in Italy, there is a weapon. So there is a weapon and insult object according to the law. So only stiletto and Norman dagger can be considered as a weapon. Other things are just insult objects, and they cannot be considered as a weapon. And producing such things is banned in Italy. So they asked not to show them. That is, they work with it. Keep traditions. I told them much about their system that they didn't know. They told me what they knew from their teachers. So, step by step, by studying tractates, working with masters, exploring the history of Venice, looking into other different sources, using a special system, we are restoring Venetian stiletto for the whole world to keep it as a worldwide cultural heritage. You have mentioned about your project that is playing with the blade, the main theme of which is how to protect oneself against knife with empty hand. Is it possible to protect oneself against stiletto? Of course. Barehanded as well? Sure, but it would be more difficult since you see that it's longer. So the problem is that it's 48 centimeters. And if you can really operate with stiletto, you have to keep in mind that your opponent can do the same. So he supposes that you are going to defend barehanded, that you can fight with it. So he will choose tactics that won't allow you to protect yourself. Oleg Viktorovich, now I would like to know your opinion on something. There is an expression that stiletto is a symbol of secret power. Why is that? Because government have been trying to ban it for a long time in Venice, but couldn't. It's simple. Venice has narrow streets, so when you want to draw a sword, it takes time. See? But when it comes to stiletto, it's very fast, in one motion. So you just have no time to draw your sword when stiletto transpierces you. So when many people were killed in Venice in due time, stiletto was prohibited, so other people was trying to find other ways to keep it. And it took much from the Venice government to ban it, since there are many excuses, such as some say it's a rule. I'm a shoemaker and I needed to do my work. See, it has a gradation on it. It's not a stiletto, I need it for measuring, and so on and so forth. So they invent many tricks to keep it. I talked to many different people from different places, and all of them associate stiletto with the symbol of a hatchet dog, a secret power. If they won't like how you behave, they will kill you with stiletto in one motion, transpierce you due to its length. So it's a symbol of fast and accurate work. Thank you. And what a person must know about, or on what kind of questions he must answer before start working with the stiletto? The first thing is that why he need it? What is gonna do with it? To tell you the truth, I can't explain everything due to the lack of time, but I can say some things. You know, stiletto is an all-can-do weapon. That's in order to get a knife with cutting edge, it has to be forged. But when it comes to stiletto, you can transform anything in it. So it's the most effective and legal type of weapon that exists nowadays in all countries, despite of the fact that it's banned. But as I said, anything can easily be transformed into a stiletto, which is certainly not the case of a knife. You work with stiletto for many years, you do restoration of it, and the last question I would like to ask you is what does stiletto for you personally mean? It's a symbol of Venetian school. As you said, it's a symbol of secret power, of personal skills and mind. A symbol that stops speed in human's life and push one to live according to the truth, to understand what you have and be responsible to other people for your knowledge.